Welcome back to the Spruce Stopper YouTube channel. A quick thought with Scott, sitting in the Kubota doing a little bit of spring plowing. Man, I have heard a few things as of recent that it's making me wonder what's going on. If you haven't noticed, the political scene in Canada has escalated up a notch with the announcement of our federal election. Now, if you're not super familiar with how Canadian politics works, basically two parties. One is blue, one is red. There's some in the middle, but if you vote for those ones, it doesn't really get you too far. They don't gain a lot of traction. So, two choices, one of which has been in power for the last 9 years. 9 years, eh? That's a long stretch to be at the helm of a country. How are things going up here? Well, if you're south of the border and you see what your dollar is worth compared to ours, might give you a little indication. My point of the thought with Scott today is don't forget what has happened and where we're at now. There's an opportunity for change in this country so that hardworking folks that I encounter every day and are similar to myself can use their principles, the moral fiber of themselves as a being, logic and common sense. Oh, I know, dad topics, eh? Not real popular these days, common sense and logic. But to use these things to make a decision to further us all in an appropriate direction that is more economically viable, more free, and just all around a better way of life. They want you to forget that the 9 years previous even happened. If I promise my wife that I'm going to do a home improvement project for 9 years, and as we roll into the 10th year, I revise that promise and say, no, I'm really going to get it done this time. Well, she's going to tell me to piss off. So don't let them make you think that your memory block somehow has malfunctioned. The last 9 years did happen. Your pocketbook is in the state it's in because of a lot of stuff that has taken place. So, form a decision based on logic and common sense, the principles that drive your life forward. And for most hardworking fellas like myself, that is what is good for your kids, your wife, your family. So they are happy, they are safe and sound, and prosperous. Because I have encountered a whole lot of the mentality recently. This is a very specific line. I've heard it several times. You got to mention, right? People like to talk about politics. Think back to when you were just a youngster. You'd be sitting around a kitchen table somewhere listening to the adults talk. And what did they like to talk about? Well, they talked about politics. Taxes are up. Wages are down. This is the craziest time I've ever seen. Every generation has had these conversations. But some of those generations of folks are looking in the rear view going, that might not have been in the craziest time. The craziest time might be happening right now in 2025. So where I'm going with that is when I get someone in conversation, because the subject comes up, people like the round table discuss politics, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth says, oh, it's good we got to have an election in Canada. Somebody's got to do something about our neighbors to the south, or that guy, the guy to the south. What does that have to do with the state of our country? I am a business owner. I ship product. I import product. You want to talk about tariffs? Let's have a chit chat. But that just started. The fact that we have been under pressure, we've been under attack by our own government in our very own country. How is that going overlooked? Do not get treated like a goldfish where you blank out and you go, well, shit, he's, a couple 1% tax cuts and we're off to the races. A band that changes its singer but still plays the same tune is the same band. So don't get bamboozled into thinking that something's going to be different. And do not fixate on things that have nothing to do with what is going on here and now. Our country has got into the shape it's in because of 9 consecutive years of mismanagement If you know, I mean, come on. You balance, you manage your household budget, don't you? What do you do? What do? You just run up a Visa bill for 9 years and just don't worry about it? Well, no, it'd crush you. Your wife's not going to Costco. Your kids are hungry. There's no fuel in the truck. You got problems. So to hear people fixated on a country that is not having the election whatsoever, it seems to be misplaced. I'm not saying that world issues don't matter. It is a global economy. Our trading partners to the south are vital to the growth of our own country. And I absolutely appreciate the dollars that they send my way. We have absolutely wonderful customers and clients that come from the United States. Most of these folks feel the same way you and I do. They just want to be left alone. They want to work hard. They want to keep more of their money. So we're all on the same page in that sense. Focus on the task at hand. Encourage people to, dive into a little bit of education on the subject. See where the country has been going and where it could be going. I'm getting off track here. That's my thought with Scott. Focus on what's the task at hand. Don't get distracted and sidetracked around these different avenues, thinking that somehow the thing you should be focused on is a country that is not even the one that you're living in. And all these problems, all the problems we're experiencing just cropped up in the last month and a half? Get real. The Premier of Alberta stood up and said that it's not threats from outside. The greatest threat to our country at the current moment is the current leadership. She caught a lot of heat for that, but you catch heat for saying things that got a ring of truth to them. People don't like being told the truth, I guess. So I know I've kind of had enough of not being able to keep the money that I worked very hard to earn. I'm very grateful for the people that do business with us, and I'm grateful for the people in my life and the place that I live in. So do me a favor, friends, and stay focused. Have discussion. That's the best way to get after it. A lot of world problems have been solved through just simple discussions. Have a chit chat with your neighbors. See what their point of view is. Don't ridicule them. Nobody ever changed their mind or listened to your point of view because you beat them over the head and ranted, even though it's tempting sometimes. And keep working hard. There's no, what do they say with the car crowd? There's no replacement for displacement. If you find yourself sitting still, well, that might be part of your problem. I'll catch you on the next one. I don't know what order the adventures are going to come in, but I'm feeling crafty. Maybe next video we'll build something. Take care.